has come and gone, and serenity again dominates the landscape. New York City. In search of some serenity of her own, Tonya Harding has arrived at the Fox Studios. Already in the building is Nancy Kerrigan. The improbable face-to-face confrontation is about to occur. A criminal act left a graceful skater with a battered knee and an elegant sport with a black eye. The ensuing 7 weeks were all Nancy, all Tonya, all the time. And the world couldn't get enough. Lost in the noise were some brilliant performances and compelling stories. Tonight, we bring together 7 talented women for an encore. 3 of them gold medalists, 4 world champions, all bound together by history and the 1994 Winter Games. They shared the stage in Lillehammer and now return for a curtain call. It's been 4 years. 4 years of unanswered questions, continuing accusations, disturbing revelations. 4 years of unfinished business. Time to break the ice. Four years seems like a long time. Suddenly, it seems like yesterday.
Hello, everyone. I'm James Brown in Vail, Colorado. For 16 days every 4 years, the entire world is mesmerized by the unfolding human drama of the Winter Games. The triumphs, the tears, those unforgettable memories that stay with us long after the competition is over. There's absolutely no question about it. The memories of Lillehammer 4 years ago are dominated by Nancy Kerrigan and Tonya Harding. As we return to Lillehammer, some of figure skating's biggest names and brightest stars have gathered here to perform and to reflect back on 1994. And tonight, Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan confront one another, face to face, for the first time since the attack on Kerrigan and all that followed. Let's get started by going inside Dobson Arena here in Vail and join 1984 Olympians Rosalind Sumners and Peter Carruthers.
Thanks, JB. An intimate setting inside Dobson Arena where just over 1,000 spectators are on hand. If you are lucky enough to score a ticket for this event, you're in for a real treat. For the top figure skaters, lady figure skaters are here to perform. And Rosalind, I have to say that there's just a few gold medals between them.
Plenty of gold, and waiting in the wings 1 and 2. Gold and silver from 94, Oksana Bayul and Nancy Kerrigan. And a pair of double gold medalists, the enchanting Katya Gordieva and the bewitching Katarina Witt, who came back to compete in 94 after skating as a professional for 6 years.
That was amazing. And what I found so ironic about those games was the fact that before the big Nancy and Tonya saga, the real story was the professionals reinstating to Olympic eligible status.
Which was a one-time shot, and it was called the Boitano rule because Brian is the one that spearheaded the push for reinstatement. He competed in Norway along with Victor Petrenko, Jose Chouinard, Torvill Dean, and of course, Katarina Witt.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's one of only 2 ladies to win back-to-back Olympic titles. Here's Katarina Witt.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world.
Talk about bringing a piece of music to life. This piece by Cher, It's a Man's World.
Without a woman,
Katarina has such a well of experience. She uses that depth to skate with such a maturity and a confidence that nightly charms her audiences.
man in the car to take us over the road. Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Man made the electric lights to take us out of the dark. Man made a boat full of water that no one made a ark. This is man's world.
That experience that she has shows right here in a choice of her music. Not every skater can skate to this piece.
Almost hypnotizing.
Beautiful, solid double axel. Katarina has lost none of her technical ability in the last 4 years.
He's lost in the wilderness. He's lost in bitterness.
When you think about her career, winning the gold in '84 and then in '88, then coming back in '94, that is incredible to span that distance and keep the skill level up to that she has.
And she steps out on the ice nightly with skaters that are much younger than her, and she is not intimidated. She walks out there and she sets the pace every night, and they learn from her.
Well, it was a 7th place finish at the '94 games, but right now she looks like she's on top of the world.
Well, she loved to compete, and she still loves to perform.
Still loves to jump, too. A beautiful double axel here. Look at the height. Good rotation in the air. Just as strong as when she won gold in '88. We welcome Katarina.
Okay, in your career, you love to show off the strength of being a woman, but yet this song is, it's a man's world. Explain this to me.
I think that's not really something to explain, to be honest. I just loved it. And I know it's still a little bit a man's world, but I think the women, they really get strong in a good way.
When did you first dream of being Olympic champion?
I dreamed of it when I was probably 15, coming to my second Worlds, watching the others, being more mature a little bit. I mean, I was 15, not much maturity there, but watching the people, the skaters on the podium, and then just knowing, wow, one day I want to be an Olympic champion.
Well, I'm glad you were Olympic champion when I was on the podium. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the ice, two-time Olympic medalist and the 1993 U.S. national champion, Nancy Kerrigan.
Nancy's interpreting the music from the motion picture Hunchback of Notre Dame. I Am an Outcast, the singer, Bette Midler.
When it comes to pressure, nobody has experienced what Nancy did. Leading up to Lillehammer, an unexpected amount of publicity and scrutiny. She handled it with grace and courage. She goes out every night and skates with that feeling of overcoming.
I see your face and wonder, were you once an outcast too?
Beautiful double axel. Skating with such strength and confidence.
Hungry from birth, show them mercy. They don't find on earth. Lost and forgotten, they look to stray. God help the outcast, and nobody will.
Softened up so much in the last 4 years. It still is about the jumps. She's still technically strong, but now it's so much more. It's about interpreting the music, telling a story, and really loving what she does.
downtrodden. I thought we all were the children of God. I don't know if there's a reason why.
Ross, she was just one judge short of winning the gold medal. She was really technical perfection in the free program, but it just wasn't enough to take out Bayul.
Bayul had a magic that night, but Nancy was solid and has everything to be proud of. A beautiful triple toe ollie there. She may have been just shy of that gold medal, but she has accomplished so much for herself and for the sport of figure skating.
Them out. The poor and unlucky, the weak and the odd. I thought we all were the children of God.
An outcast? I think not. They're loving her here in Vail, JB.
And Peter, while Nancy Kerrigan and the others perform in front of this appreciative crowd, 12 miles away in Beaver Creek, a handful of curious bystanders provide the only audience for Tonya Harding, still persona non grata in the skating world. Detroit, January 1994, and the attack on Kerrigan. Who was behind it? Some skating insiders had immediate suspicions, and the fingers pointed in one direction.
When it was confirmed that Nancy had been hit, we all came back down to the press room to try to start reporting the story, and within 10 minutes, somebody asked where had Tonya Harding been at the time.
I remember being at an official function that night and had a member of the United States Figure Skating Association whisper in my ear, when this thing is all said and done, they're going to find out that Tonya Harding had something to do with it. I mean, that was that night.
How about that? If you're from the skating world, you can remember exactly where you were when that happened. But here in Vail, Nancy showing great jumping mechanics on this triple toe ollie. Tight position, perpendicular to the ice. Excellent. She joins us.
Nancy, 4 years after the Olympics, the pressure is off. You're having fun. You have new focuses in your life. What do you have now that puts you out there and gets that motivation?
Well, I skate now because I love it, and that's really why I started. And it's really a lot of fun to just go out there and perform for myself and for the crowd. I always love being in front of a crowd.
Well, they love you. And how does it feel to have a little baby boy sitting there kind of watching, isn't he?
He is. He gets excited. I'm not in the audience, but my parents and my husband, Jerry, when they're with him, I say he always starts jumping up and down when I come out there. So.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
JB?
Peter, when I think back to covering the events in that winter wonderland of Lillehammer, I'm reminded distinctly of the bustling crowds along the Storgata and what were some outstanding performances, but none more so than this consummate couple on the ice, Sergei Grinkov and Ekaterina Gordieva.
Well, JB, you're absolutely right about that. These two had a quality that really no one else had on the ice at the time, and even to this day, they're truly unmatched.
He'll look at me and smile, I'll understand, and in a little while, he'll take my hand, and though it seems absurd, I know we both won't say a word.
Together, they performed for over 15 years. As teenagers, they won their first world championship. In 1988, a gold medal from the Calgary Games. They turned professional, and the little girl became a woman. Sergei and Katya fell in love, married, and in 1993, their daughter Daria was born.
We were husband and wife. We were so close, feel each other so well. I think it showed in our skating.
They were just magical. You would see them, and first of all, Sergei always, I mean, he is this gorgeous man out there, and he always had a way of presenting her. So you would still always just look at her, you know. He would have like no ego, nothing. He would always make sure she's fine, she's represented well, and I think that was his enjoyment.
They had a seamless quality. They were more lyrical and had the power to go with the lyricism to a degree higher than any skaters that I've ever seen.
But at age 28, a heart attack took Sergei Grinkov from Daria and Katya.
After Sergei died, it was like, of course, like scariest, darkest moment. That was my first decision to just start skating. I just thought that this will help me to be a normal person.
Daughter Daria is now 5 years old, while Mom is only in her second season as a single skater, more comfortable and confident in this new life.
Smile, for your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking.
That was my wonderful life with Sergei, and which always will stay with me in my heart. And but the sun comes out every morning. You have to go on. The life is a great thing. You have to appreciate it now, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Next on the ice, Ekaterina Gordieva.
Short years as a single skater, Katya has earned the respect and her place. No longer do you sense Sergei out there with her. She's a strong woman now on her own.
That had to be hard to get used to, because I know when I was skating on the ice without my sister, it was so lonely, and you really get used to having someone else on the ice with you to help you through.
Triple toe, the strength of her skating. For years with Sergei, they did the side-by-side triples. It's right there for her now. Right into a double axel. No hesitation.
Absolutely so smooth you could hear a pin drop, because she's perfectly balanced on her blades, so expert with everything that she does.
Her strength is evident in just simple footwork, simple skating. I felt a strength that can't almost be learned. It's just deep inside.
She'll always be linked with Sergei Grinkov, but now I think she's really established herself as one of the top single skaters in the world of ladies figure skating.
An example of that strength, something that looks so simple as this back spiral, skidding into a forward edge. Notice how the leg does not even drop an inch. Again, I said simple. No, very few skaters do it. Amazing, JB.
Simplicity disguising complexity. And it's amazing how 4 years has changed for Nancy Kerrigan, now a wife and a mother with son Matthew. And 4 years later, there are changes for everyone. One-time champion Tonya Harding trying desperately to revive her skating career.
Tonya Harding was the greatest female athlete in figure skating the United States ever had, in terms of pure, raw talent.
She was a fullback in a pair of skates.
There was no one who had the physical talent, the jumping ability that Tonya Harding had. Absolutely no one.
She exploded on the scene in 1991 at the U.S. Nationals, landing a triple axel. Still the only American woman to land the jump in a competition.
From that point on, I don't really remember doing the program.
I love it.
I just remember going through it. Just everything just came naturally, and it was so much fun.
Figure skating was excited for Tonya Harding.
And she had taken the sport, the U.S. side of women's figure skating, to a new athletic level.
U.S. gold in 91 should have paved the way for glory in Albertville at the 92 games. She had only one obstacle: herself.
Why didn't you fulfill the dream of being a medal winner, if not gold then?
Guess I got lazy, and it's my own fault that I didn't do any better.
Tonya didn't train. She never has trained.
As the last skater to arrive in Albertville, the result was a lackluster performance. Her coach said that she was jet-lagged. Harding was edged out for the bronze by Nancy Kerrigan, while Christy Yamaguchi won the gold.
One of the great shames in the Tonya Harding story is that had she committed herself as an athlete for a 4-month period between September 1991 and February 1992, none of this other nonsense might have been necessary.
Her world on and off the ice started to spiral downward in 93. Her marriage with Jeff Gillooly was at best stormy and ended in divorce in August of that year. Then two curious events occurred. First, she returned to her ex-husband.
She came and knocked on my door one evening and said, "I need some help. I'm in trouble. My skating's not going well."
Then, on the eve of an important Olympic test event in Norway, she withdrew, citing a serious medical condition.
That's the story about the ovarian cyst. I made that story up for her.
Meanwhile, a series of calamities on and off the ice took place, from loose skate blades to a suspicious death threat, and most surprisingly, a reunion with her former husband.
Well, we had gone through complete divorce, and then I was told by someone very high up that I needed to be with him. So I had to make a decision whether or not...
Somebody very high up in...
the skating world.
That you needed to still be with your husband.
Yes, ex-husband.
Ex-husband, for appearance's sake?
Because they said I had a stable life with him.
Yeah, and a lot of it was a business arrangement. She felt that the Figure Skating Association liked to see her being with in a couple with me.
Oh, they knew that I was split, and told me that if I was not with him, I probably would not get the marks that I would deserve. I went to competition. I ended up third at a competition, and I should have won.
The United States Figure Skating Association was contacted by Fox Sports for a comment, but declined our interview offer. Still, Harding insists she felt pressure from both ends.
Nobody knew our life. I mean, I had bruises all the time on me, And
From
him. I got beat up all the time by him.
It was horrible. Yeah, it was an abusive relationship. Was I physically abusive? No. And I say that without hesitation.
Most of America would still ask, was your dream that important that you would put up with physical abuse, being frightened under the same roof with your ex-husband?
All my life, that's all I ever did was skating. You know, and I missed it in '92. And I got that opportunity at the palm of my hand just to be able to go again, have a second chance to go there and get my dream. What was 3 months going to hurt me? Well, now I know. It cost me my whole entire career, my life.
Still ahead, Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan face to face, reflecting on this incredible saga. Fox Sports welcomes you to Breaking the Ice, a look back at the '94 Winter Games and 7 women drawn together by the events of history.
Tonya Harding, figure skating's outsider. Just imagine, this woman who was only a heartbeat away from an Olympic medal back in 1992 is now a world apart from her peers. Acceptance back into the sport? Not likely. And at a time when figure skaters are performing for huge television audiences and packing arenas all over the world, Harding skates only for herself, alone.
Pretty amazing when you think about it. This is the first time we've seen her skate in 4 years.
That triple toe had all the speed and all the power of the Tonya Harding we knew as an amateur. When I'm watching her skate right now, the emotions, I have very mixed emotions. I'm not feeling sympathy. I'm not feeling compassion. I don't have a desire to see this girl succeed. But what I am seeing is a package of raw talent and a fight. This girl has fought for everything since she was a little girl. For the last 4 years, everything she's been through, she could have hidden. She could have disappeared. And you know what she did? She skated. She skated because that's all she's known how to do.
And she still got the jumps.
Huge double axel. She could actually still do a triple. You can say a lot of things about Tonya, good or bad, but you can't say that she can't skate, and you can't say she doesn't have guts.
Guts indeed, Roz, but the question everyone wants an answer to is, are guts enough to prevail over her incredibly troubled past?
And we have more now on a breaking story. Figure skating champion Nancy Kerrigan was attacked.
Within about 20 minutes, we reporters in the press room kind of laughed out loud and jokingly said, "Where was Tonya Harding during this?"
So there was always this feeling that when Tonya was around, anything could happen.
I had a hard time believing it because Tonya had skated so well immediately after. I can't imagine knowing about something so horrible and actually seeing it carried out and then going out and skating well.
Without Kerrigan there, Harding dominated the competition en route to her second national championship while securing an Olympic berth.
She absolutely believed that with Nancy Kerrigan not there, that the other girls didn't pose a threat to her ability and that she would not have a problem.
Did you want your dream badly enough that you would live with your ex-husband, that you would agree and conspire with him to remove who was the biggest obstacle to
She was not an obstacle. That's what people don't understand.
I'm really happy, but it won't be a true crown until I get my chance with Nancy, and that'll be Olympics, and let me tell you, I'm going to whip her butt.
There were two spots for the 1994 Olympic team for the women. Nancy Kerrigan was the odds-on favorite for one. Tonya Harding was the odds-on favorite for the other one. This was a no-brainer. There were two women who were going to make the team, and it was an open and shut case. So where Jeff Gillooly and the boys in Portland got the idea that they had to attack someone's knee to make the Olympic team, I have no idea.
We felt we had such an investment involved here, we needed to carry it through.
From the time she landed back home in Portland, fingers were pointing to the Harding camp, especially her bodyguard, Sean Eckhart.
Well, the whole thing started to unravel because Eckhart just couldn't keep his mouth shut. And he knew so much that wasn't out there, I just don't think he could restrain himself from telling people. Ultimately, he told enough people that, the FBI got onto him. And, of course, once he was confronted by the FBI, he just collapsed and started to cooperate.
Jeff, is Tonya innocent? Anything to say to your fans?
Please believe in me.
Was there a lack of physical evidence, hard evidence that could tie her to being involved in the planning on the front end of this conspiracy?
No, there was physical evidence. The envelope that was taken from the dumpster in the Dockside Tavern, much of the handwriting on which was tied...
Dockside Tavern where?
The Dockside Tavern here in Portland. Much of the handwriting on that envelope was identified as her, and it linked her to the phone call to the arena outside Boston and to the checking that was done there on the practice times.
Who called the arena?
Tonya did.
Why did you call the arena?
To find out if Nancy Kerrigan skated at these times. That was for Sean's information to pass on to whoever was going to make these threats against Nancy Kerrigan.
Tonya admits to pursuing Nancy, but for other reasons.
We had pictures taken from when we were on the podiums at 1991 Nationals that we did want to have signed for that. But that was it, plain and simple.
You didn't make the phone call to Massachusetts to find out about Nancy's practice times?
When I saw Nancy at Nationals, I asked her if I could send her the photo and if she would sign it and send it back to me.
FBI testimony tells a different story. Journalist Vera Morano testified to the FBI that calls from Harding to her were inquiries about Kerrigan's practice arena and home addresses.
So you maintain that you didn't know until 3 days after the attack?
No, 3 days after I got home from Nationals.
She gave the go sign. She wasn't in any way in charge of orchestrating any of the events that happened after that, but she was involved fully from the get-go. Sean orchestrated everything.
I could never hurt anybody, ever. I mean, I got the kicked out of me all the time.
If that's the way you felt about your ex-husband, if that's the way he treated you, being abusive physically, then why lie to the FBI to protect him and the conspirators, that which you acknowledged to the FBI? Why protect him? Why lie?
Because I asked for protection and they wouldn't give it to me.
The FBI wouldn't give you protection?
No, they wouldn't.
What did you ask for?
I asked them to put me someplace where nobody could get to me.
If you were to cooperate?
Yes.
You asked that officially of them?
Yes.
And they said?
No.
I think that's her imagination. I mean, in fact, my memory is that it's undisputed that she met alone with Gillooly after that interview, and voluntarily so. So I guess I would wonder why, if she was so concerned about him, she would have done that. I mean, that's not a credible statement.
I guess what I'm saying is people are having a difficult time wondering, can Jeff really be lying? Could he have been lying to the FBI to have had so much detail about the planning of the attack?
It's very easy. I mean, he took a lie detector test when he first got his attorney and totally failed it.
I took 2 polygraph tests. I took one with my attorney to try and substantiate our claim that we weren't involved, and failed it miserably. Polygraph test with the FBI, I passed, admitting my involvement and Tonya's involvement.
I took one and I passed.
I mean, if she passed a polygraph exam, then where's the report that she passed the exam? The report has never been released by her or any of her representatives, I suspect, because it would show otherwise.
It's almost like the Three Stooges. I mean, just that's really what I was involved with. I mean, and I was one of them. I mean, if there was 5 of us, it'd be the Five Stooges. I mean, absolutely ridiculous.
What is your plea to the charge of racketeering?
Guilty.
Gillooly served 8 months of a 2-year sentence. But since then, he's changed his name, remarried, and desperately seeking to clear his conscience.
Obviously, the way I was thinking, the way I was living, the way my beliefs were, led me exactly to where I was, which was prison, and a very unhappy life. Since then, I decided I needed a new lease on life, thus the name change. And I wasn't going to be remembered as Jeff Gillooly, the fellow that tried to fix the Olympics. I did not want to be remembered for that. People say, aren't you angry that you went to prison and that Tonya got what they say, see as a slap on the wrist? And I say, no. I went to prison, I did what I did, but my soul is clean. She has chosen to, and it looks like she will for the rest of her life, taken the stand of limited involvement in this whole thing. She's got to live with that guilty conscience until she decides to come clean, and that is a sentence that was much harsher than anything that was handed down to me.
When we return to Vail, the stage belongs to 94 gold medalist Oksana Bayul.
That was so good. Double axel.
We look at each other, wondering what the other is thinking, but we never say a thing. These crimes between us grow deeper.
Next here on the ice in Vail, José Chouinard, a Quebec native and twice Canadian national champion. In Lillehammer 4 years ago, José finished a disappointing 9th, the forgotten victim of Tonya Harding's misfortune or theatrics. Take your pick. Harding's long program ran short. Sabotage, she tearfully pleaded, by a broken lace, and that in turn sabotaged Chouinard. José was forced to skate early, while Tonya, given a second chance, regrouped.
And then all of a sudden, the whole thing changed. All of a sudden, the timing wasn't right, and, I felt the crowd was anxious and, and wanted something to happen, and that moment was happening so fast that I couldn't get a grip on it.
Her Olympics were ruined, but José gained new fans.
When I went back home, my agent got a phone call from ZZ Top. Because they come from the same place as Tonya. And they wanted to apologize for her. And they wanted to meet me, to talk to me. So I went to see their show. Then I went backstage and I saw all those women. Tall, long legs, which is totally opposite of me. But it was great. Things I guess things happen for a reason. But I had a great time that night, and they were great. She's just a doll with a great attitude, and she's taken that personality and put any kind of bitterness she could have had behind her, and she's out here having fun, having a great career, skating to Any Man of Mine, Shania Twain.
Any man of mine better be proud of me. Even when I'm ugly, he still better love me. And I can be late for a date, that's fine, but you better be on time. Any man of mine say it's just right when
She takes her light, fun personality and puts it into her choreography. At the same time, still doing the triple jumps.
And if I change my mind, I'll be given time. I wanna hear him say, yeah, 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 like it's not away. Any man of mine.
What you gotta love about Jose is she truly skates from the heart. Some people just go through the motions. But what she does, she enjoys, and she makes us happy.
She brings the audience right in with her.
It's gotta be a heartbeat, fire, beating, breathtaking, earthquaking time.
Beautiful triple toe. She may have been 9th in Lillehammer, but she's now winning professional competitions. She's touring, and she's one of the most loved skaters out there today.
She is just tearing it up here. She totally owns this audience.
Beautiful triple sow. This number has a combination of strength, stamina, and yet she has a smile on her face the whole time. Having a fun time with a professional career, she gets a gold medal for that fun.
And I think she ought to go on the ZZ Top Tour. Those girls have nothing on Jose Chouinard. Well, I've got to say, one of the most energetic and entertaining performances of the evening. And can she get up in the air on her jumps? Terrific. And living proof of that is, look at this triple sow cow. We call this a jaw dropper. Look at me. Woohoo! She is so pleasing. We got to talk to her.
Jose, you're skating so strong and consistent. You're winning all these competitions. What's your secret?
Well, I'm happy. I'm just enjoying so much life, much more than before. And I think I put skating, whoa, that was hard. You forget out there that you're tired. And just know after, when you're done. I think by putting skating into the right perspective, I have a life, wonderful life, and I'm enjoying what I do. And skating isn't, it's not bad to say, but isn't the most important thing in my life.
Well, you're married now.
I'm married.
Is that your top priority, your marriage right now?
Well, friendship, love, family. I think this is the priority first. And then I love doing skating, and I think it just helped. It just helped my skating. Less pressure. I was my worst enemy, I think. I wanted so bad. I was so hard on myself, and by putting all that pressure, it never happened.
Well, you look like you're having fun. You want to stay and watch Oksana with us?
Sure.
Okay.
Next up, Oksana Bayul. Amazing when you consider, with all the hubbub about Nancy and Tonya, that 4 years ago, this seemingly unknown person would end up with the gold medal.
who's Tonya, who's Nancy? I didn't know them for that time. I really didn't know how big it was, you know. I was trying to stay away, you know, trying to do my own job. That's what I was really trying to do.
Oksana was the orphan from the Ukraine who dreamed of becoming a ballerina. But it was figure skating, a different form of dance, that she quickly mastered, and by 1993, she was world champion.
I remember this little waif coming on the ice in Prague at her first world championship to skate the free skate, and she was in command of the building from the time she took her first step. She wasn't going to skate until she was ready.
The same was true that following winter in Lillehammer during her long program.
I just really wanted to perform and just skate as best as I can for myself, you know, for my mother, for my friends. It was just like a whole dream comes true. I mean, I was really proud of being there, you know, being happy just for my performance.
Now 4 years removed from Lillehammer, she's still the reigning Olympic gold medalist. Please welcome Oksana Bayul.
And this number, All That Jazz from the Broadway show Chicago, shows off Oksana's dancing talent.
Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? And all that jazz, I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my
She won her gold medal just 5 days short of her 16th birthday, turned professional at 17, and in 4 years has made a transition to an entertainer.
Where the gin is cold, but the piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl and all.
Nice triple toe loop. What Oksana Bayul did so well at the 94 games was she really combined athleticism with dance on the ice. When she was skating, it was very poetic to watch, and it really elevated ladies skating to a new level.
Well, she definitely knows how to work an audience.
Slick your hair and wear your buckle shoe. Father Dick is gonna blow the blues. And all that jazz, hold on, hon, we're gonna money hunt. I've got some aspirin, got a United drug, in case you shake a heart and want a brand new start to do that jazz. Skidoo, and all that jazz. Watch out.
Nice double axel. With Oksana's medal came a lot of unexpected attention and fame. She's struggled, she's had some turbulent times, but she's learned how to cope, and she's growing up right in front of our eyes.
Hall where there's a nightly brawl and all that.
Hard to believe that is the same girl that we saw 4 years ago in Lillehammer. Grown up now, appreciating the audience, and really the audience is her family.
She's having fun, and it really shows.
When we return to the slopes of Vail, Colorado, the Harding-Kerrigan story continues 4 years later. From Vail, Colorado, Fox Sports welcomes you back to Breaking the Ice, a look back at the '94 Winter Games, and 7 women drawn together by the events of history. We take you back inside Dobson Arena to choreographer Leanne Miller.
Hello. I've skated here in Vail many times myself and had the opportunity to choreograph for many top skaters. However, I've never been on the ice with 2 Olympic gold medalists at the same time. So I would like to introduce first Oksana Bayul and Katarina Witt. So does anyone have a question for Oksana or Katarina? There must be so many. Do you have a question for Katarina? Great. So the question is, what challenges do you have in skating?
Not to slip. Like, you slip on the ice, it's very, like how do you say?
Slippery.
Slippery, yes. Well, no, the challenge actually, like tonight, for instance, being here, having everyone here who was in Lillehammer, and I think we're a very strong group. We have become very good friends in the meantime. Going out here, everybody remembering Lillehammer, and it was 4 years ago, and we're all a little older now, and still going out there and trying to give your best, trying to do triples and doing jumps. This is a challenge every night, and to go out there and enjoy what we're doing. But I tell you, it is hard work. You have to do a lot, and especially up here, it's very thin air.
The altitude. Okay, and your question?
Can I have your autograph?
There's one thing they didn't bring out here.
Do you have something to sign on?
Uh-oh, we're gonna start a stampede here. They'll do autographs after though, okay? Thank you. All right, okay, let's just do a couple more here, and so here we go. And what's your question?
Oksana, you've always been my hero, and I want to know what it feels like to be a hero.
Thank you so much. It's unbelievable. Thank you so much for everybody and for all of my friends and family. And I'm up here because I love you all, and I've really wanted to perform for all of you. That's why I'm here today.
That's great. Okay, the last one. I heard girls over here. This is, I guess, been part of a little bet or something?
Yes, I did. I drew the long straw. And my question is for the both of you. As a cameraman that shot you for a number of years, could I have a kiss?
All the other cameramen are jealous at this point, but he won. Put lipstick on the other side, right on the lipstick on the other side. Thank you very much. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the second half of the show.
Up close and personal with the champs here in Vail, and there's world champion Yuka Sato getting ready. But on the ice, once again, Nancy Kerrigan.
Please welcome back to the ice, 1994 Olympic silver medalist, Nancy Kerrigan.
Around
back on Lillehammer, Nancy has many different emotions and memories, but now when she performs each night, it's about the perfection of that moment.
Lillehammer, the night of her skating career.
Each of these women have spent the last 4 years perfecting their styles, their performances. They all matured, and nothing shows more than that in Nancy Kerrigan in this number by Janet Jackson. A fun look for her.
Nice triple Salchow. I really think that Nancy wants to move on and really not be known as the victim of the Lillehammer Games. But honestly speaking, I can't imagine what it would have been like, Roz, if someone had tried to take my sister and I out before the Olympics. A lot of stress.
Well, and it's something that can absolutely shatter your confidence, and yet it has made her the person that she is today. She's risen above it. Well, Nancy earned the respect of the world with her skating in Lillehammer, but since then she has earned the respect of her skating peers, and it's showing here tonight.
Evidence of that is the triple toe loop right there.
What I'm seeing tonight from these women of Lillehammer is a standard of skating that the girls coming out of Nagano can only hope to strive for.
Nancy Kerrigan, silver medalist from the Lillehammer Games. 4 years have passed in her life, but the events feel like only yesterday.
I don't know, some hard black stick. Something really, really hard.
It was such a horrific thing. The moment when I heard the yell and I ran and saw her on the floor, there was nothing about skating anymore. Nationals was done. Now it was, is Nancy going to be all right?
All of a sudden there was all this commotion on the other side of the rink, and we got up and ran over there, and things just went sort of crazy from that point forward.
And there was just so much going on, and everybody telling us where to go and what to do, and it was very confusing for me because I just couldn't see any of it and didn't know what was happening.
I just remember being hurt and needing to take care of it right away, and it didn't even occur to me to think, he went that way.
Nancy Kerrigan was quite a shining star in the sports world. At the age of 24, she had a bronze medal from the '92 Winter Games and was the reigning U.S. national champion. But before this attack on Nancy, figure skating alone was usually not enough to make a skater a household name. This act of violence ignited an interest the sport had never seen.
I would, if I could, go back and switch it, and none of it would have happened. I mean, even if the sport, maybe people think, oh, but the sport's really benefited. But at someone's expense and the pain and the I went through, my family, and even the world, people watching, all being so emotionally involved, it was something I think, that should never have happened in the first place.
And while one saga was being played out for the world to see on one coast, on the other was silence. A silence broken only briefly one snowy afternoon in the Kerrigan family's driveway in Stoneham, Massachusetts. The world of Nancy Kerrigan, the athlete, was about having only 6 weeks to rehabilitate, repair, and prepare for the ultimate test of her lifelong commitment. Somehow, she kept her focus. Even with the army of reporters awaiting her every move, she was not going to let another chance at gold be taken away.
I didn't really feel anger because I was too busy getting back in shape. I don't know how it came about that I could handle that. I don't know. It just must have been the support system and my family and friends and coaches and the world. Just their good wishes and letters and all this. It was amazing how many people wrote to me, and it was really overwhelming.
And I've never seen anyone who had to go through that intense a period in order to get fully recovered and go compete at the absolute highest level in such a short period of time. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you're not ready on February 23rd, then you're not ready, and it's going to be gone forever.
Nancy's strength and determination would never allow that. She arrived in Norway in top physical condition, and mentally she was ready. But the '94 Winter Games was not the experience she had always dreamed it would be, as the hordes of media and controversy followed her there.
It was just amazing to be, I don't know, be a part of an Olympic team, let alone be the one that the whole world is focused on for so long, really. It's strange.
Nancy's comeback is an incredible story of an athlete's sheer will and proof of a champion's heart. Her reward, the silver medal.
I won in my own right because I did my best. I mean, I can't do better than that.
It's now 4 years later, and Nancy has married her agent, Jerry Solomon. Together, they have one child, 13-month-old Matthew. Nancy still skates on the professional circuit, juggling a career and motherhood.
It's a lot of fun, but a lot of work in a different way, and gives me a lot less time to practice and train, but I'd rather have less time, still perform and do well, but have more time with him and my husband. I just love it.
Today, Nancy's thoughts of the events of 4 years ago are not of malice nor controversy, but of the single most memorable night of her life. She sat with her mother to watch and to reflect.
I was just excited and thrilled, and they were all standing. But I think it just, I did it. I couldn't believe it. I was really proud of myself. I was.
A bronze in '92, the silver in '94, but never the gold. While that medal is now out of reach for Nancy Kerrigan, fulfillment seemingly is not. Those 7 weeks leading up to Lillehammer, from the assault in Detroit to the performance of her life, say an awful lot about Nancy Kerrigan. You have the injury, the suffocating media attention, the pressure, the expectations, and Nancy Kerrigan delivered. She brought home a medal. It wasn't a gold, or was it? Her face-to-face confrontation with Tonya Harding lies ahead.
It would have been turned down by every publisher or every Hollywood agent. No one would have ever believed something this wild could happen.
The weirdness level is just incomprehensible. I mean, to put together the gang that couldn't whack straight, those were the most incompetent group of felons you could ever possibly imagine.
It's true, the truth is much harder to write than fiction. Peter Carruthers and Rosalind Sumner's back with you in Vail, Colorado, inside Dobson Arena. Well, we have seen the performances of the gold medalists and the silver medalists. Of course, Oksana Bayul, Nancy Kerrigan, but we will not be seeing the bronze medalist, Chen Lu, from those games.
Well, she's competing in Nagano, so she's obviously preoccupied with training, trying to capture a spot on the podium. After taking the bronze in Norway, Chen Lu went on to win the World Championship in 1995, the only Chinese figure skater to ever win a world title. And finishing just out of the medals in fourth place in Lillehammer was the dynamic Surya Bonnelly of France, the many-time European champion.
And who can forget Yuka Sato? A month after Lillehammer, she struck gold, winning the '94 World Championship. And then Tonya Shevchenko of Germany ended up sixth in Lillehammer. She fought through a major illness last year and is definitely a medal contender in Nagano.
Next on the ice, the 1994 World Champion, Yuka Sato.
And of course, it was a tremendous story for her when she won the gold medal at the World Championships in her home country just a couple of months after the Olympics.
Skating to the song Angel by Jewel, Yuka is known as a very lyrical skater, always down on her knees, skates through the music, very enchanting. Opens the number with a beautiful triple loop. Yuka, I find myself watching her feet, all the intricate choreography. Nothing's ever rough, always very smooth and delicate.
Reminiscent of the style that Janet Lynn had in the early 70s. The bottom line is she makes something so hard look so easy.
Chose to turn professional after her world championship in 1994. She's done a lot of performing in her home country of Japan and is now starting to come on the scene and win the professional competitions in America. Pretty remarkable. A fifth place finish in Lillehammer, then gold at the World Championships. She could go back and compete with the Olympic eligibles today and give them a run for the money.
In review, it was Bayul, Kerrigan, and Chen Lu taking home the medals. Beyond them, the rest of the top 10 women of the '94 Games, all bound forever by the events of this incredible story.
Tonya Harding's plea bargain a month after the Lillehammer Games legally put to bed the question of her complicity in the assault on Nancy Kerrigan, but doubts over the degree of her involvement clearly remain. So the anticipation, the tension on the day they finally came face to face in the Fox studios in New York City was unique, almost suffocating. While Tonya Harding gathered herself for the confrontation, we began with Nancy Kerrigan. How long had you two known each other prior to the Olympics, and what was the nature of the relationship?
Probably since, I can't remember exactly, but at least since 97. So 87, I went to my first international, and we were roommates. Yeah, and we've been on many world teams, and we actually made history with the 91 Worlds, where Christy, myself, and Tonya were all, it was the first time American women had swept World Championships, so it was very exciting. I mean,
So you guys are riding the crest of a nice high then.
yeah, it was great.
In your mind, was it the last thing that you would have suspected, that it was one of your colleagues who was involved with the effort to keep you out of the Olympics? Was that the last thought in your mind?
Well, it had been brought up by other people thinking that. I don't know why anyone would have thought it. Such a bizarre incident.
So as a result of other people bringing it up, did you then suspect that it might have been her camp?
No, I didn't suspect that, because I think that's, I just thought that's crazy. Why would you even say that? That's not nice. You know, that's, but, you know, it's just, I guess, a lot of pressure put on people. They deal with it differently.
You know, when a lot of the sordid, bad, gory details did start to come to light, and whether it was or was not proven that she was either active or a passive participant in this, but did acknowledge guilt in terms of obstruction of justice, were you surprised that she got no jail time at all?
Absolutely. Because I read transcripts from the FBI, the investigation, and they're public knowledge, so I was allowed to read it. And in fact, in a way, they were humorous. And I sat there reading to my mom. And
humorous?
Because it was just, I mean, sort of dumb. I mean, there's really no nice way to say that, actually. But to sit in front of a building and move your car every 15 minutes over, 2 spots so you don't look suspicious or something like that, or go to a city and don't bring any money or credit cards and you're going to attack someone, and just really not well thought out kind of plans, and it sounded very dumb.
In all the time that has passed since, how do you regard her now?
I don't. I think probably only think about any of it when asked, or many times people will come up, or young kids that remember, and they were very young men, and they say, oh, and they ask me about my knee and how I am, and will mention what they think of her, and I don't, but sort of, it's in the past. So much has gone by since then. I'm married, I have a baby, my own family, something I've always wanted and I just love. It's so long ago. I don't know, I just...
Has there ever been a thought, prior to today, of sitting down with her to try and resolve it, to reconcile, to air out the differences?
No, not by me. By many people there have been. But I have a lot going in my life that I care about. I never had anything against her personally, so I just don't understand the whole thing, how it all happened. But then afterwards, I guess, just gets a little tense.
Understand. Is there any room in your heart for forgiveness?
Well, I think from all of it, I just hope that she can learn from that and better her life and not hurt anybody else.
Tonya? Okay.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Face-to-face sense. Nancy, without a doubt, you two have been, are, and will forever be linked to Lillehammer and the incident. How has that impacted your life and skating, you think?
Well, I think for skating, the incident, in a bizarre way, has helped the sport because it brought awareness to the sport so many millions of people watched that otherwise would never have. And I think because of that, they watched and enjoyed it and are still fans now of the sport. And they watched because of the so-called rivalry, which I don't think there is any rivalry and never was.
And the impact on your life specifically?
Well, I was hurt for obviously no reason. Luckily, still got to get well enough in time to go and compete and skate the performances of my life with the help of my family and the world, really. The entire world got behind me. It was just phenomenal how many people were there supporting me, and just, I couldn't have gotten through all of it without all of them.
A silver
all
lining.
The prayers.
A silver lining through adversity.
Yes.
What about you, Tonya? How has it impacted your life and skating from your perspective?
Well, it was really hard because my whole life I always built everything around my skating career, and I lost everything. I mean, I lost my life and my career and everything else, and it's been really, really hard. But first of all, I'd like to say that congratulations on your marriage and everything else and your new baby. You look great. It's just been really, really difficult. But I go on, and I'm sure as is Nancy, she just wants the whole thing to just go away. Just, she started a new life, and, just let everything just go away.
Has it gone away?
No, not at all. Not at all.
How much do you think about it? How often do you think about it?
I think about it every day. I mean, I come across people that come up every single day and say something to me, and so it's always really hard to deal with it.
Have you grown apathetic with respect to those responses? Do you understand why people continue to ask? How do you deal with it? Is it painful?
It's very painful. I mean, Nancy, I want to apologize again for being in the wrong place at the wrong time, around the wrong people. If I would have known anything, in the beginning, I would have done anything I could to stop it. Anything. I mean, I would have dropped everything I had in my whole life to do that. I mean, I say that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. I really do.
But clearly there's still a large segment of the population that thinks that you were, be it passively or actively, involved in the planning and execution of it. True or false?
False.
Absolutely false.
Absolutely false.
Why do you think then, if that is the case, why did you become, at least as I understand it, a main focus of the investigation?
I don't know.
Were you aware that the plot also, at least in discussion, included the possibility of murdering Nancy Kerrigan?
Excuse me?
Did you know that the plot and those who were involved, the conspirators, if you will, had discussed possibly murdering Nancy Kerrigan?
No. Oh my God. No, I did not know that. I did not know that.
Or cutting her Achilles tendon. None of that you knew about.
No.
Is this in any way closure for you? Although you've indicated you've put it behind you, is this in any way closure? Forgiveness?
It will always be there. I mean, like you're saying, it was right linked with an Olympics, and it'll probably be brought up many times. So something that will always be brought back. And there was a lot of pain there for me and my family, and I think it was just unnecessary. Something that just shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Is this closure for you at all, face to face with Nancy?
Well, I would hope that we could go on and just live our separate lives. And I just ask forgiveness that, you know, she has her life and I have my life, and I would hope that we could just, you know, end it.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say to Nancy before parting? Anything that you've had in your mind these past 4 years that you'd like to say to her?
I would just like to say that, you know, I've always wished you the best. I mean, we were friends. I mean, we were on tour together. We always competed together. And, you know, from the bottom of my heart, I really think that you're a wonderful person, and I always have. I always admired you and your skating and your family, and I loved your mom and dad. I mean, I thought that they were always so supportive, and it was hard because I wished that I would have been able to have something like that. And now with my godparents, I have that, and I thank the Lord for that. And so it's just, I just want to have a new beginning, to be able to start a life and be able to live happy. Your response?
I'm glad you've moved on, and hope that never anything happens like this again and you find happiness. And I hope children can learn from such mistakes and not have any kind of recurrence.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll let you go, yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, well, we got a couple more questions for you then, Tonya. Okay.
Thanks.
And with that, an incredibly emotional day for Nancy Kerrigan had come to a close. She had faced Tonya Harding.
As you read her body language, knowing her as long as you have, how did you read it? How did you interpret what you were saying to her, what you asked of her?
It was very hard for her to be here. And I just thank her for giving me the opportunity to sit here and in front of her face to face to say that I'm sorry.
You were pretty courageous to be sitting here as well. What were you hoping for, and did you accomplish it in your mind?
I don't know if I accomplished it or not. I just came because I wanted to say that I was sorry.
Have you resigned yourself to the eventuality, maybe in the minds of many, Tonya, that there are those who won't ever believe you no matter what you say, and especially in light of having acknowledged that you were guilty of obstruction of justice?
Yes. But there's no excuse for me not going and telling them when I found out, except that I was so afraid. I wanted some protection. And the day that I told the FBI everything that I knew, they said, okay, we have protection for you. I went to my father's place, and Jeff broke in front of their agents and beat me up. How am I supposed to feel? How am I supposed to feel if they can't even protect me?
The people who were involved in your life, any of them involved in any way, shape, form, or fashion in your life now?
No. No one.
Any threats since then by your ex-husband or anyone associated with him since then?
Yes.
Recently?
In the last few months.
Specifically?
I've had phone calls on my phone.
Threatening you?
Yes.
How so?
Calling me bad names, telling me to watch out, and hanging up.
A nightmare that won't die?
I don't think so.
If you could ever hope for closure on this from your perspective, Tonya, what would it be? How would it end up?
That I can just live peacefully, happy, and have forgiveness from Nancy and her family.
My final question then, Tonya. When all is said and done, and you're at life's end, can you leave this earth comfortable in the knowledge that you had no hand, actively or passively, in the attack, and that what you're asking for, not only in the way of forgiveness from her, but maybe from others as well, is genuine and should be given?
I believe so, because the Lord knows where my heart is, and the Lord is the only one who knows the whole truth.
And your heart is where, and that truth is?
The truth is that I believe that I will go to heaven because he believes in me.
Because you had nothing to do with it.
I had nothing to do with it.
Thank you very much, Tonya.
Thank you.
Harding continues to blame the lack of security on the FBI. Federal and local authorities, as shown earlier on Fox, dispute this allegation.
Was there closure? Well, judging by this face-to-face meeting, the first and quite possibly the last time such a meeting will take place, I would venture to say no. And as much as Tonya would love to be forgiven by Nancy, as much as Nancy would love to be completely disassociated from Tonya, they seem destined to forever be linked to the events of 1994.
We close tonight high atop the Rockies, where silver medalist Nancy Kerrigan replicates her original long program.
After 4 years, it was important for me to close the door on a unique chapter in my life. I've now done that. On the eve of the Olympics, let's all move on and remember what attracted us to the sport in the beginning.